This company truck month, pull up in luxury with the new 25 Company Cruiser, featuring top-of-the-line safety features.
Initiating.
Park.
State-of-the-art maneuverability.
What? From now on, I'm just gonna try. Okay, maybe I'm not gonna try.
And enough room to fit a family.
What are we stuck on? Oh my gosh. What's happening? Oh my gosh! Eject!
Buy yours today. The company store at any ship terminal near you for a free warranty. You wreck it, we buy it. Unless the game bugs out, and in that case your warranty is void. Hey guys, my name is Nikos, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since the last Lethal Company survival guide, and a lot has been added into the game since about half a year ago. If you're new here, and need help with not getting murdered in Lethal Company, consider watching my first guide as well as this one. This guide covers everything added in version 50 and version 55. And speaking of version 55, quite a few people hate this update. The difficulty of one of the enemies and the questionable quality of the company cruiser has frustrated fans to no end. Alright, let's get into the biggest feature of these new updates.
Yeah, see that worked
Okay,
color.
cool.
Oh my.
The company cruiser is perhaps the best and worst addition to Lethal Company simultaneously. It's a truck with a driver's seat, passenger seat, and a box on the back complete with space for crewmates, two-handed loot, and shelves to carry tools, equipment, and scrap. To start the cruiser, try the ignition. The starter in the cruiser is set to horror movie mode, meaning it will usually take several turns of the key to start the truck. The transmission is automatic, but in order to drive the vehicle, hit the shifter lever into drive. To go backwards, hit it into reverse. Hitting forwards on the keyboard will accelerate the vehicle. It will accelerate it forwards in drive and backwards in reverse. Hit the backwards key to apply the brakes. The cruiser also comes complete with wiper controls, headlight switches, a radio, and even an ejection button.
Alright, I got the. No! What? Oh no!
The company cruiser is a very useful tool that can transport tons of scrap in one trip. This makes it extremely viable in solo play where you only have 4 inventory slots. The truck can safely protect additional crewmates by providing armor from some outdoor enemies as well. I would buy the company cruiser alone just for road killing enemies, such as the pesky kidnapper foxes that seem to usually camp near your ship. Detaching the truck from the ship and quickly dispatching these foxes clears the way for your entire team. The ejection button on the truck can allow crewmates to even launch into high spaces that they normally wouldn't be able to without a ladder or a jetpack. This is especially useful on moons where there's raised fire exits, but just be careful not to fall to your death. Ready, do it.
Go. 3, 2, 1, eject.
Oh, that worked! That works.
Well
Oh my
done.
god, am I a genius?
Who else wants to join me? Oh,
Ah!
is he alive? Tell me he's alive.
I wanna try. I wanna
Oh
try.
my gosh. Yeah, you want to try after that just happened? You can stick the truck to the ship by driving up to the large magnet on the side of the ship and flipping the magnet switch. Just make sure you leave the truck and get back in the ship on departure. Chilling in the truck as you leave won't count you as a survivor. The company cruiser even has a warranty. Upon losing your first cruiser, buying an additional one won't charge you. But sometimes this glitches out and the game forgets your warranty. Also, sometimes it forgets you lost your cruiser and thinks it's still in the game, so yeah, this update's bugged. Did I mention this update's kind of buggy? Alright, now here's why the company cruiser is the worst thing ever. The company cruiser has horrendous controls. It is tedious and frustrating, testing the patience of even Sisyphus. Tap the accelerator gently and abuse the brakes to prevent wrecks and team kills. Despite how unpredictable and dangerous the accelerator on this thing is, it is very weak and fails to navigate most hills and slopes. The truck just gets stuck like all the time. Luckily, crewmates can push the truck with the interact key, and the driver can even hit the boost key to effectively make the truck jump. Yeah, they put a jump button on the car. I'm out of words. What's worse is the cruiser is only viable on like a few moons. It is perhaps only good on experimentation, offense, March, and maybe Rind. Other moons have rough terrain that render the vehicle stuck or destroyed by the end of the round. Definitely skip on deploying the truck on adamants.
Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. Oh gosh.
He has to get out and push. Still, you may want to use the truck on these moons to kill foxes that are camping your ship, so it's not a total waste on these moons, just make sure you don't drive it as far away from the ship that it'll get stuck. Collisions also damage the truck, but you can pop the hood and view the health bar on the engine. The truck should heal as soon as you enter orbit, but if you'd like to heal it yourself when it's damaged in-game, spray weed killer on that bar. Lastly, but not least, never accelerate the truck while in park. Doing so will explode the truck in typical Lethal Company fashion. Easter eggs were added in Update 50, and they're a valuable piece of scrap that can be thrown or dropped. However, they have a chance of going off when leaving a player's inventory.
Oh, what the? Oh, what? Are you kidding me?
What?
Paradise died by accidentally. He dropped an Easter egg at his feet and killed him.
These can cause accidental suicide if you drop them at your feet and they happen to go off. But they can also kill some enemy entities with direct hits.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's just great.
Did you kill him?
My Easter egg killed him. My Easter egg nuked him.
When in danger, with no other options, try throwing Easter eggs at enemies and pray they go off. They might just save your life someday. Weed Killer was added in Update 55. It's available in the shop, and it has two uses: shrinking and dealing with vein shrouds, and also, as I mentioned earlier, healing the company cruiser. The Signal Translator is a purchasable ship upgrade that allows you to send 9-character or less messages from ship terminals to crew to inform them of crew deaths or monsters that are present outside. The Signal Translator is useful in the event eyeless dogs are swarming a ship and you wish to send messages without being heard by them if you want to talk into your walkie. This upgrade was introduced in version 45, not in a recent update, but I realized I forgot to mention it in the earlier video. Much like this next ship upgrade, the Loud Horn. Well, it lives up to its name. It can be heard from anywhere, even inside of facilities. It is up to you and your crew on what this omnipresent sound blaster means. However, it can also be used to distract dogs to the back of the ship opposite of the ship door. This can help crewmates enter the ship entryway without dealing with the threat of dogs. There's several new entities in Lethal Company, but we'll start with the V50 entities first. Tulip snakes spawn outdoors and will attempt to lunge onto players. Upon latching onto a player, they will flap their wings, which is very loud. However, if 2 or more of them latch onto you, upon jumping you may take flight in a fashion similar to a less controllable jetpack. You may also lift off at random when the snakes feel like it. Be careful as they stop flying whenever they feel like it too, which can cause needless death. But these tulip snakes are very useful as an escape option in the event of great danger. Old birds are large robots that attack anything that moves. They can kill giants, dogs, and more. Their missile barrage attack can damage as well as launch crewmates, which can actually randomly save you if they manage to launch you away from a dangerous encounter. Sometimes I do like to position myself in the path of a missile, hoping it'll strike near my feet and launch me towards the ship in the event of an extraction. So these missiles can actually kind of help you. Less common attacks from old birds include stomping, as well as smashing you in different ways, but there's also one where they'll try to grab you and torch you with their flamethrower, but I haven't seen this happen in game, it's probably much rarer. These robots will usually be present but disabled on a moon's surface upon ship landing. Be aware as they may activate at later times in the afternoon or night, whenever they feel like it. Because they attack everything, old birds can actually end up being more helpful than harmful, as they can cause chaos and kill enemies that are tracking you down, which can allow you to have an escape window. According to the wiki, taking an apparatus activates all birds on the map, so take caution when doing so. Butlers are most common on Dine, but are also present on other moons. They appear to be a form of zombie or bloated flesh sack of a person puppeted by hornets. They wander mansions and facilities, sweeping their broom, trying to appear mad innocent. If a crewmate is caught alone by a butler, they will stow their broom and charge you like a true Brit, kitchen knife and everything. You can kill a butler with shovels, but it takes quite a few swings in multiplayer, so pick your fights wisely and try to time an attack with a friend. On solo, butlers only take 2 shovel hits to kill, which is helpful as solo players will always be charged by butlers. Whereas in multiplayer, if you're sticking with a friend, butlers will typically not attack you. On death, the butler pops like a balloon and a swarm of masked hornets will chase players at slow speeds. This swarm is unkillable and will deal damage over time to players, so be careful. It can be advantageous to leave a butler be in the event you and your friends would rather stick together than deal with a swarm of hornets, but do keep in mind the butler also drops their knife on death. Now, this knife does deal very low damage to other entities, but it does one-shot other butlers. You will know a butler is around if you hear the clops of their very loud dress shoes. It sounds kind of like wooden clogs. Listen closely, especially if you're on Dine, and you'll know when one's coming.
Hi there.
That's one ugly dog. That's what that is.
Alright, now we move on to the V55 enemies. First off, we got the Kidnapper Fox. The Kidnapper Foxes linger on the surfaces of moons. They are timid and spawn where plenty of vein shrouds are present. They let out distinct cries, which are similar to high-pitched shrieks. Vein shrouds are these weeds that can be dealt with using Weed Killer. This is a slow process, but removing weeds may prevent the foxes from spawning. Foxes cannot exist without these pink vein shrouds. You will usually find these two entities in pairs. The reason these two usually come together is Kidnapper Foxes hide within vein shrouds and attempt to ambush players that are caught alone. They have a long tongue used for grabbing crewmates. Caught players will drop all their items and the fox will begin to drag them towards it. If a player is dragged to the fox will bite their head off with a one-shot attack. Try your best to fight its pull by walking in the opposite direction. Players can also break the tongue with a shovel or sign.
Oh gosh.
Oh, what the? So travel in groups with a melee weapon. If caught alone, try to pick your shovel or sign back up before you get pulled to the fox.
Ah, you're freaky, aren't you?
This will allow you to save yourself. Keep in mind that even if the tongue is broken, foxes can still kill crewmates. Now the community really hates these things, but I gotta say there's a foolproof method for dealing with these guys. You just gotta run them over with the company cruiser. It may take a few hits, but turning the fox into roadkill is a far preferable option than smacking one 7 times with a shovel. Dispatch Kidnapper Foxes with ease from the safety of your armored vehicle. And doing this will pretty much make them become a nothing burger.
You're being immature! Here comes another one.
Barbers are frickin' terrifying. They're honestly probably the only thing a lot of fans like about this update, and they're most common on Dine and Embryon. Keep that in mind before traveling to these moons. Barbers wield a pair of oversized scissors and are completely invisible from afar. They can only be viewed from up close, but you will hear them coming. Barbers move slowly, but teleport in intervals between drum lines. They jump towards players with every horn blast that you can hear them play. To avoid death by scissors, listen for snare drums and horn blasts. Use your headphones to hear the direction a barber is coming from. Between jumps, the barber is frozen, so take advantage of that to escape them. Barbers cannot be killed and are a persistent threat, similar to the hygro deer, or slime, or somewhat like a jester in that regard too. In the wiki, it is revealed that the internal code of the game refers to barbers as clay surgeons. Perhaps they're made of clay.
I'm gonna get a hot dog. What? Who's that? It costs 1 money. It's a good deal. Uh-oh. Yep. Oh boy, I got it.
Hey, where
where
you
are you going?
Additionally, they seem to spawn in packs, and you can have multiple of them moving at once. So keep in mind, although you can only see one, they all move at the exact same time to the beats they play. So be extra careful. There may be a pack of them chasing you. The Baboon Hawks have gone over a bit of an overhaul. Before I mention some of the changes, in a previous video I mentioned you could scare Baboon Hawks away by shouting at them. This turned out to be a myth. Remember, traveling in groups is your best shot of preventing a Baboon Hawk attack, but shouting at them will not really do much of anything. Baboon Hawks are present on moons with newly added Baboon Hawk nests. If you see a nest, prepare for them to begin spawning. Again, stick in groups for safety, but fortunately for lonely crewmates, Baboon Hawks have less health as of recent updates, so they present a more fair fight. They also now steal abandoned loot and bodies and pile them up near their nest. Keep a hold of your items. The interior to facilities has undergone some changes. Spike traps are very dangerous, but also very telegraphed. They insta-kill players as well as monsters alike. They randomly smash into the ground in intervals, making extremely annoying commotion. But this can actually be good for helping you find your way around the facility. If you can remember spike trap locations, you can return to them by their sounds.
Oh!
Hello?
That spike trap almost killed me.
Two tiny red lights on the wall serve as the sensor to these spike traps. Walking by these lights will trigger a spike trap to smash down. Killed crewmates hang lifelessly from these traps.
I think Paradise is good.
The landmines in Lethal Company have undergone a new change. You are now able to disable mines temporarily from the ship terminal if you type in the code as visible on ship cameras. This may be useful for saving crewmates stuck on mines. As of update 50, railing cheese was completely removed. For a time, you could still kill spiders without taking damage while perching atop railings and tables. Well, sometimes it wasn't totally reliable, but this was back in update 45. As for changes to weather, some of the moons have new weather features, especially Dine, which now experiences other forms of weather, including rain, which causes white slush holes to spawn on Dine. If you start sinking in them, walk backwards. Now here's an interesting tip for stormy weather. You may already know lightning can shock metallic items, but huge warning, flasks count as conductive and will be shocked by lightning. I don't know how, they're made of glass, it makes no sense. But lightning can kill enemies if you lure them to metallic items that are throwing sparks, indicating they're about to get shocked by lightning. This is a great strategy for eliminating dogs and Baboon Hawks, who are all for going towards your loot when you drop it. Remember to drop all metallic scrap and equipment in your inventory once you hear these sparking sounds. Let's talk about the new moons. Well, starting with an old one actually. The Dine surface layout has been completely changed. I don't know why they made this decision, but the surface of the moon is now full of tall cliffs and narrow valleys. Advance straight from the ship to find the entrance. Forward and left from the ship is the fire exit. Remember, butlers are very common on Dine now, and flooding as well as rainy weather can now affect the moon. 20 Adamants is a new forest moon that's free to travel to. It's a very small map with a valley in the middle, as well as a very fragile bridge shortcut to the right of the ship, as well as a broken bridge that collapses after jumping on it a few times and requires parkour to cross. In the valley is a cabin with a locked door. In the event of emergency, crewmates can unlock the door and hide out in the cabin to survive giants as well as other monsters. The fire exit can be found behind the main entrance off to the left from the ship's point of view. Floods are very dangerous on this map. If the bridges both collapse, you will likely not be able to return to safety. This is because the only remaining path through the valley is now underwater. Baboon Hawks are very common on Adamants, so bring a shovel or a friend. Now we talk about the secret moons in Lethal Company as of update 50. If you don't want these spoiled, I would skip to the next part of the video. 5 Embryon is a secret moon that doesn't appear on the moon list because it has been condemned. Why is it condemned, you may ask? There's tons of old birds. Upon landing, dozens of these deactivated old birds stand and wait across the surface. Some of them will begin activating around noon, so move quickly. The surface is entirely made of amethyst, and according to the terminal, complex life is unable to live on Embryon because of it. But this is not true, as nearly every entity can spawn on Embryon, so be careful. It costs a small fee of 150 credits to travel to Embryon, and the fire exit is off to the right atop a hill from the ship's perspective. Scrap count on Embryon is typically only around the same as March, with only a third of the fire escapes too, as well as a longer run through more danger to get inside the facility. So I wouldn't really recommend going to Embryon normally unless you want a challenge, or for the lore, because the bestiary of the Old Bird describes Embryon's past, and how it served as an Old Bird testing ground. 68 Artifice is the other secret moon that doesn't appear listed with the other moons. It costs a whopping 1500 credits to travel to, but it's dense with lore and a few clues to the story of Lethal Company. Artifice is an abandoned classified military research facility. Old birds commonly spawn here, and threat level is at S++. It is harder, and a lot more scrap spawns than on Titan. The path to the entrance has 4 large garages, the back right of which is inaccessible. One is full of fog, another is a medical ward, and the last one is an empty warehouse. Levers beside the garage doors can be flipped to open and shut the large doors. This can be helpful in the event a player is being chased by hostile entities. There are back doors as well as small sneak holes in the walls that allow players to sneak out the back of garages when in danger. This is obviously the hardest, ultimate moon in the game, and generates the most theories and questions surrounding Lethal Company's bizarre lore. And there you have it. Everything from update version 50 and 55 explained, as well as tips and, well, you know, the whole shebang. Now you are ready for the newest Lethal Company updates. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always, and thanks to the channel members and patrons. Y'all are amazing. Alright, see ya.